Hey guys, Carrie here. Okay, how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing all right. Just a fair warning, there could be a little bit of noise in the background, so if that happens, dogs start barking or whatever, then I will pause. This software actually gives me a chance to pause if I need to, so I really am liking it. But this video is going to be about transitioning from latent to active as far as quote unquote super abilities, psychic abilities that are inherent to humans. We've been so covered in bullcrap that we've forgotten who we are. So this is a follow-up to the other video I did on the subject about latent psionic abilities. So if you haven't seen that, you probably should go and check that one out as well. So yeah, I mean, so here we go. All right, bear with me. Okay, so this is the book that I'm still reading now, which gave me the idea to do this video, or these videos. It's Seed to Harvest by Octavia Butler. I just finished the third novel in the book, or actually the second, so I'm halfway done with it. So, because I've read Wild Seed and Mind of My Mind, and I'm blown away. I really am. I'm about to start Clay's Arc, and then the Pattern Master. It's all in the same book here. But the Patternist series is a group of science fiction novels by Octavia E. Butler that detail a secret history continuing from the ancient Egyptian period to the far future that involves telepathic mind control and an extraterrestrial plague. Okay, so I've gotten to the telepathic mind control part. I haven't really got to the extraterrestrial plague yet. So, yeah. Anyway, so in this novel, there is, in the Mind of My Mind, there's a character named Mary, and she's telling Doro, one of the main characters, about a science fiction book that she read and came up with the name psionic. To refer to the people, the race of people that he's creating by breeding them together. Now, my point of talking about this now is that there's a quote that I want to tell y'all that Mary was saying regarding her son. She felt like spoilers, y'all, she felt like she was gonna die. And she was talking about planting information in the caretaker of her son for the future. And here's what she says, quote, "I planted some instructions that she wouldn't need or remember until August showed signs of approaching transition. I didn't want her panicking then and taking him to a doctor or hospital." Okay, so end quote. So wow, yeah, and some of the book, it actually mentions from various things that these people go through when they're going from the latent abilities, and then they go into transition, and they go into transition, and I'm guessing that if they never go into transition, that the ability just stays dormant. And that's when they are called latents. But whenever they go into transition successfully, completing the transition and apparently not going to the doctor or hospital, they become actives with their abilities. So some of the things that it mentions that they go through is hearing voices. It mentions that several times. Seeing things like beings on the other side and things like that. Laying in the fetal position, screaming and crying in pain and unexplained fear. Like the person will be experiencing someone else's situation and be completely in their head, like they're going through it themselves. So that's what the book mentions. And so anyways, basically Mary has this pattern, I guess a neural network, a neural pattern that she uses to basically, it's like leash. I hate to say it, but it's like a leash for all of these actives, and she's able to use her ability to trace down all of these latent people and turn them into actives using her pattern, and then they help them go through it. So she does mention now, whenever you go and you look up the word neural, it gives an example, something about, and I don't know if I wrote it down or not. Oh, I did. It actually uses the word patterns of neural activity. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, and when as a society right now, a sleeping society, they're on the verge of waking up. But anything that's not neurotypical is seen as sick. So, yeah, that's where I'm coming from with all of this. But Mary, in the book, uses her pattern to send images of words to her patternists, the active people that are attached to her pattern. And I actually have been having dreams. I've had several dreams where I see words just clear as day. So, and I, of course, have experienced the seeing things and hearing voices and laying in the fetal position, crying and not knowing what the hell is going on and completely afraid of what's happening to my, why am I having these thoughts and things like that. But anyway, so let me go here real quick with y'all. Remember what I said, if anything is I mean, if it's out of the ordinary as far as the brain is concerned, then they're going to say, oh, you're sick, so let's see, I think I changed this. Yeah, that really wasn't worth it. Okay, next. Okay, so and I'm getting to a point where I'm kind of almost ready to stop talking about the schizophrenia, because the subject, honestly, it pisses me off because it runs in my family. I was told that I was schizophrenic and they put me on all of these medicines, and I'm like, wow. If I had really known what was going on, if my friends had known what was going on, then, I would have been a lot better off. Maybe I'd be an active by now. But okay, so yeah, let's just go through some of this, and I'm going to post links to all of this stuff. Yeah, it's calling it a debilitating mental illness known collectively as schizophrenia. People with all types of schizophrenia become lost in psychosis of varying intensity, causing them to lose touch with reality. Well, if I have a video about reality, and I think it's called The Reality of Psychosis. So if you haven't seen that, then please go and watch that. They experience auditory hallucinations along with diluted thought processes and beliefs. They often believe others plot and conspire against them or their family members. People with paranoid schizophrenia tend to fare better than those suffering from one of the other subtypes. I don't really know what all that is. Okay. So hearing things that are not real. Well, what's real? Go look up that word right there. It's a doozy. Unexplained anger, emotional disconnectedness, delusions of grandeur, self-importance, and believing he or she possesses special powers. Okay, and then whenever you feel those things and someone says, well, you really are, you're just human. You don't have no, you don't have no special powers or abilities, which is total bullshit. Then you're like, well, screw you. I'm gonna kill myself. That's what happened to me. Luckily, they were able to bring me back. But paranoid delusions. This is all very, valid stuff to people that are going through this thing, because you start to become aware of things that are really happening. You may also think you possess special powers, such as the ability to breathe underwater or fly like a bird. Well, when my awakening first happened, I actually saw myself under the ocean, made of stone, just sitting there. And if you know anything about galactic history, bird beings are real. So if they're called carrions, okay, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more over here, somewhere over here. So, and if you can't, I don't know how far y'all are down the rabbit hole, but the evidence is out there. The stuff is out there. And people are starting to really wake up to this stuff. We're living, basically, I see it as in a fishbowl kind of thing. Do you really believe when the cabal has they control everything on TV and everything in the textbooks and everything is hidden in fiction and movies and songs? Do you really think that they're going to tell you why people are really going through this? Because if you look down here, it says researchers do not have a clear understanding of the causes of paranoid schizophrenia symptoms or those associated with any of the subtypes. Excuse me. Brain dysfunction. Okay, but it says right here they don't know why. Environmental triggers. Okay. Think of any genetic predisposition for developing psychotic disorders as rows of levers or switches. People and events represent your environment. If a person, event, or combination of these flips your switches at a certain time and in particular order, you develop signs of paranoid schizophrenia. These initial signs signal the onset of the disorder. Research studies indicate that an imbalance of brain chemicals contributes to the onset of the first psychotic episode, leading to a paranoid schizophrenia symptoms. Okay. And then it says treatment. Oh, of course, it's going to have, look at this, shock therapy, medications. Okay, well, anyway. It's starting to piss me off right now. Oh yeah, I wanted to kind of go over this. I think we've kind of covered it. The psychosis, the hallucinations, seeing things. Hallucinations in schizophrenia are often an auditory, but may also be visual, seeing things that aren't there. Olfactory, smelling things that aren't there. Tactile, feeling things that aren't there. Or taste related. hearing voices is common. There may be multiple voices talking to each other, or voices talking to the other person with schizophrenia. Whatever. Can be very distressing. People see people that aren't there. They see objects that aren't there. They smell scents that no one smells. They feel non-existent fingers on their skin. Feel non-existent bugs crawling. And I've got a video called Schizophrenic Hallucinations, or What Are Delusions? I think it's actually called What Are Delusions? So, believing you are someone famous, like Jesus Christ. That happened to me. I told my sister I was the chosen one. Because you know you are chosen at that point. You're starting to have all of these experiences. Believing someone is out to hurt you or spy on you. Can you say the cabal? Believing your thoughts are controlled by others, such as aliens, or that others are inserting thoughts into your head. That's called your guides. Or it could be something nefarious. Now I'm been going through this right here, believing things around you, such as newspapers and books, are about you. That's, to me, I've been experiencing a dark night of the soul, which is psychosis. Dark is abnormal condition of the soul. Believing that someone else, normally someone famous, is romantically involved or attracted to you. Yeah, I've experienced that. Because a lot of people don't realize it, but we are not really our soul. We are soul fractals. So if you've heard of a twin flame, that's half soul halves. I don't really know how that works down here. I don't remember. We have our memories wiped when we come here. Believing you have a medical condition. So they're, once again, trying to get people on medication. Which on this video right here, she does, I'm not gonna have y'all listen to the whole thing, but she does say that medication closes off what's trying to happen. So I'll post links to this. This is Jelaila Starr on YouTube, and y'all just have a listen.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Jelaila Starr. Today the topic is a higher perspective on schizophrenia. The reason I've chosen this topic today is because in the last couple of weeks I've had more than one client who came to me as a result of being diagnosed as schizophrenic by the medical mental health establishment, when in reality there was more to it than that. And my purpose and the reason the guides called them to the meeting, their guides called them to the meeting, was to help them understand what was really going on so that they could continue their work and continue their training and fulfill their purpose for being here on Earth. So let me explain a few things to you first. Most star seeds and walk-ins, I have learned over the last 20 years of counseling them, have come in pre-wired for enhanced psychic ability. Now this would make sense if they're here on a mission and they need to be able to communicate back to mission control, so to speak. I used to think when I first started that I was the only one pre-wired. In fact, that was a term that was used when I first asked about it. How am I able to communicate like I do? And I've never had any training. They go, well, you're kind of pre-wired for it. But I found out after a while I wasn't the only one. But the problem is that some of them have more of an advanced ability than others. So let me explain it using the analogy of an internet connection. Some starseeds, and this will depend on their mission and how much they need to be able to communicate to the other side. Some will come in pre-wired to have the speed or capability or capacity of a dial-up connection, which is better than no connection, right? And then there are those who have a DSL level connection. And then there are those who have a cable broadband connection. But then there are the T1 connectors. These are people who have not a DSL, but a trunk level of connection. T1 is a type of internet connection that is used by big corporations who have a large number of computers and need to be able to move a large chunk of data across the internet, back and forth from their corporations. So there are some starseeds who have a T1 connection. And my experience has been that these are the ones who are most able, who are more likely than not labeled schizophrenic. And in some cases, they will end up in a mental institution. And it's very sad that that happens. But let's go back to the case of my latest client. We'll call him Michael, because there's a part of having a T1 type of connection, and Michael certainly had one, that if you don't know how to use it properly can get you into a lot of hot water. In Michael's case, after he awakened, he was not, he could see things on the other side. And it freaked him out because our society doesn't teach us how to handle other realities. I mean, we are firmly indoctrinated from the time we're little that this is the only reality there is, the only life there is, and we are the only beings in the universe. So there are no other realities. Now, even though quantum science, quantum physics has disproven that in more ways than one, the medical establishment still holds to the old belief systems. For the most part, a lot of religious society as a whole still holds to that to some degree, especially when it comes to mental things, to our minds. That's a scary area. And we don't like to venture out of the old norm into new arenas because we don't have any education. We don't know what the rules are, for navigating other realms. But that's what, guide communication.
All right. Well, I think she said that beautifully, talking about our indoctrination when we're born here. Now, if you've seen my people in the radio, I do talk about the song by Nirvana, and I think I can't remember which one it is, but there's the baby it's the album cover, one of his In Utero album cover, where the baby is in water chasing a dollar bill. Okay, so we're indoctrinated that this is the only reality that there is, and we have to chase dollar bills to pay taxes to the cabal. Okay, do we really think that that's all there is? This is the only life there is? Really? That's pretty sad, if you ask me. So I'm really glad to know that there's much more than this out there. So anyway, so I just got done reading this book. We Are the Nibiruans, Return of the 12th Planet. This goes a lot into the galactic history that we haven't really just started seeing. I just became aware of this. Jelaila is a galactic historian. There's also another galactic historian out there named Andrew Bartzis. He's very technical with his stuff. And some of the stuff, I mean, you just really have to know it. It's the truth. The truth is truth, whether it's good or bad or scary or joyful. It's truth. And at first, some of it might freak you out and piss you off, but knowledge is power. So we've been in the dark for a pretty long time now. But yeah. So the description is what, and I do recommend everybody get a copy of this and read it, and also check out a lot of this information that's in this book can be found on her website, the Nibiruancouncil.com, but a lot of it isn't. So if you want to know the truth about our history, there you go. The description is, what is the secret history of planet Earth? What are the ET origins of the human species? What is the hidden purpose of the so-called junk DNA in our bodies? Who are the Nibiruans, and why are they sending members to Earth? Jelaila Starr gives us the answers. The Nibiruan Council designated her to work with those who are ready to receive the realignment and fusion of our 12 strands of DNA. Only then can we become fully conscious and able to receive transmissions from incarnate beings beyond our third dimension, gain a better understanding of the walk-in and starseed phenomenon, why they are here, and what they are doing for the planet. Some very, very good information is found in this book. I'm about to start on a Dolores Cannon book, The Custodians. It should be here in a couple of days. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, apparently that's the key is, you know, if you want to go from this, believing this about yourself, oh, I'm schizophrenic, I'm sick, I need to take some medicine because I'm not normal, I'm not neurotypical, to this. And like she mentioned, quantum physics has proven, I mean, go take a look. Go take a look at some of the stuff there, you know, with quantum science. There's actually, speaking of that, if you go, wait a minute, if you go here, there's a lot of information here. If you go to the compassion calls, there's information about the AI and all of that kind of stuff here. I've listened to all of them. I recommend that y'all listen to some of those too. But back to this, I mean, the clairs. And apparently when you recode your DNA, and I'm actually working, I've already started with the formula of compassion. If y'all are familiar with my videos, you know that. But the clair senses is just an overview. This collective word phrase includes any or all types of psychic sensitivity corresponding to the senses: seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, tasting, touching. Clair senses in psychic terms are translated: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairscent, clairtangency. That's the feeling that they're talking about, I think. And clairgustance. Additional gifts and clairempathy and channeling. Okay. Clear vision, clear hearing, to perceive sounds or words, and extrasensory noise from the spiritual or ethereal realm. Well, if you're indoctrinated, there are no other realms. And my mom, she's really religious. She's always like, well, the dead know nothing. Really? Well, that's depressing. What the fuck? Oh, on this right here, yeah, to reach into another vibrational frequency and visually perceive within the mind's eye something existing in that realm. Like my cousin sees dead people, literally sees them. Yeah. To perceive information by feeling within the whole body without an outer stimuli related to the feeling or information. Clear smelling, to smell a fragrance, odor of substance or food which is not in one's surroundings. These odors are perceived without the aid of the physical nose and beyond the limitations of ordinary time and space. Clairtangency, clear touching, more commonly known as psychometry. That's mentioned in this the Seed to Harvest book as well, psychometry. To handle an object or touch an area and perceive through the palms of one's hands information about the article or its owner or history that was not previously known by the clairtangent. Clairtasting. Yeah. And that's going back into, and y'all, if y'all haven't seen the first video about the psionic abilities, please go watch that. But yeah, quantum possibilities. Set your body's capacity to heal itself in motion. So how do you get there from this schizophrenic idea, this archaic notion of us being sick? Well, this is what I'm about to do. Soon. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it. I've already got a couple of the things. But yeah, DNA recoding. Medical science has established that we have 2 strands of DNA and 10 strands of junk DNA, but they have not understood the purpose of that junk DNA. The Nibiruans have chosen to reveal to us its higher purpose, supporting a multidimensional consciousness, our natural state. Realigning, reconnecting, and activating our 10 strands of junk DNA, aka the DNA recoding or RRA process, is the process by which we attain that state. When we are multidimensional, our psychic abilities are reawakened, and we have developed a second neural network at the etheric level. This second neural network is what allows us to live in multiple dimensions at once. We can see, hear, and communicate with others in these dimensions. So the problem I think right now is that some of us are like these latent abilities. We just get little fractions of what we can do. Little, like, well, I see ghosts, I don't know what's going on with me. And then you get put in the mental institution and put on drugs, which closes the process down. It closes that line of communication that Jelaila was talking about in her video. I don't know if I got there or not. But yeah, she does say that, you know, it closes that line of communication. And maybe that's why the Lady Mary in the book, Seed to Harvest, was like not wanting her child to go to a doctor or a hospital, because that would ruin his transition. So I'm going to let y'all go in and read about all of this. Once your 12 DNA strands are plugged back into your 12 crown chakra crystals, your genetics engineer and recoding guides job are nearly complete. They will continue to watch over you and monitor your 12 strand reconnection until you reach the frequency needed to fully activate the reconnection. The activation of the 12 strands happens in 3 steps. Activation of the crown chakra crystals. You will feel this as an itching at your crown chakra, not the same as dandruff itch. Activation of the Merkaba antenna. The Merkaba antenna is used to receive messages from other dimensions. Activation of the hypothalamus. This is the universal translator and translate all messages into your chosen language. Messages are received as frequency thought forms. Many are complete with emotions, pictures, and language. Some have only 1 or 2 of these. The hypothalamus also provides you with the identity of the sender. You will learn to identify the senders after receiving for a while. Once the hypothalamus is activated, the recoding process is complete and your DNA chart is also completed. Proof is visual, aura, photos, emotional, not holding negative emotions in the body, and physical, feeling more in control of your power and hearing messages daily. So, I have the 7 Keys of Compassion. I have the book. I've done the liver and colon cleanse. So I've just got to get, I've got to continue with this journey here. But look, this is the DNA Recoding CD set. I don't have that. I'm wondering if I should have just bought the whole dang package and been done with it. So, but I did not do that. And then if you need help, which I'll probably end up doing this, since I've started this and that and not, you know, done exactly what I was supposed to do in order, I might need it. I don't know. But you can buy a session. I think it's $125. But the, over here in the shop, packages, this is where you get it. The DNA Recoding package is $145. It includes the book, the 7 Keys of Compassion, this CD thing. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't include the liver cleanse. Okay. All right. But, you know, completely worth it. Because look at how we're viewed. Now, I just did, you know, this is Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of human. It's not very uplifting. Of relating to or characteristic of humans. See, human. The human brain, human voices, problems that have occurred throughout human history. Okay, whatever. Representatives of or susceptible to the sympathies or frailties of human nature, human kindness, a human weakness. Such an inconsistency is very human. Okay, well, what does this say? Let's see if that's any better. Well, it looks like it might be taking a minute. Is it gonna go? I'm trying to see human. Oh, that's human in a sentence. Human. Okay, well, let's try this. Human being. Let's see if that's any different. No, it looks like that's as good as it gets. The drug has not yet been tested on human beings. What? Wow, they really want us on drugs, don't they? Because they don't want this to happen. Uh-oh. So, which superhero are you? I don't know. Anyway, y'all. Yeah. Which one are you? Because apparently we are some powerful beings, y'all. You know, I might end up doing this video again at some point. I didn't really, because I have a brief amount of time where I have the computer and my notes, and I have silence, and I have the dogs in a, you know, certain spots where they're not yapping and people aren't walking through. I just have a brief window of time to like sit and do my research online. And so I could end up doing this again, honestly. And that goes for a lot of my videos. Whenever I do I'm working on being more abundant in my finances and my life. And it's not always going to be like this where I'm using someone else's computer and living with someone else and having all these distractions. But I just wanted to briefly touch on this, and I know it's been 40 minutes, but if you want to know answers to questions like, do we have super abilities or am I just mentally ill? Do you want to know if there's any validity to the things you're experiencing when you're going through your Kundalini awakening or you're transitioning from latent to psionic superhero person? being, I don't like to use the word person, then you really need to take the time to research it. So I just, just wanted to put this out there. If you guys have anything to add, please do so in the comments section. And please don't get paranoid. I've noticed a lot of people that go and subscribe to my channel. I've actually lost almost 30 subscribers to people who delete their accounts. And a friend of mine brought it to my attention the other day that people are probably getting paranoid that the government's watching them and this and that. I'm like, okay, at a soul level, the more you know about the game of polarity integration that we're playing, the souls of these government entities, they want this game to end just as much as we do. And I don't mean any catastrophe that's going to happen and kill everybody. I just mean the game is going to end and it's going to be amazing for everybody, not just the light team, the dark team as well. So they know, they don't care. And if you really feel that nervous, just go do a salt bath and burn some sage or get out into nature and, whatever. But I guess if you feel like deleting your account, then that's you. Maybe that's your way of unplugging. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. I didn't really do much as far as the research on this that y'all are looking at right now. So I hope that I kind of got my point across. Everything that I was trying to say, I might end up thinking of something later. But then again, I did say I probably will redo these at some point in time. So, okay, I'm going to stop rambling now. If y'all have anything to add, go ahead and do that. And y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.